The next part of our program is the community moment. So what is the community moment? It's an opportunity for someone to share their story. It can be either their journey or just something that they've learned. But we want to extend the chance for everyone in our community to be able to simply share something about themselves, their story, and learn from them. So today we have Mike Swoyer. I have his name spelled up here, so if anyone knows. Don't look, I have to stop running. So, Mike, I asked for some bio information. You said he works in supervisor for rat control in KCMO. So, and then I asked for a hobby, and he said he works too much. So your goal will be to help him stop working so much and find him a hobby and to get out and have fun more. But he's here today, and you've been here almost every week, I think, since, or pretty often. So let's give a really great warm welcome to Mike.
Oh, you can keep it going if you want to. That's all right. Hello, my name is Mike, and as God is my witness, I am an atheist. I wanted to tell you a little story about why I became an atheist. It kind of boiled down to, I think it's always been kind of my default position, but I was 10 or 12 years old, and I was going to a skating party with my church group, okay? And on the way there, I started expressing doubts to my minister, or the associate pastor. I said, I'm having a real hard time believing in God. And the minister thought about it for a second and said, don't be stupid. And so we go to the ice skating party, and I'm ice skating, and I'm a terrible ice skater. I fell down a lot. And at one of those points, I'm laying on my back, and the minister skates up and says, if you believed in God, you wouldn't fall down that much. The nice part is, though, a little kid came up to him right after that and said, I believe in God, and I fall down too. So, anyway, that started me on my road to doubt. But, I shilly-shallied around about and tried to believe in a lot of things. Like I didn't really accept Christianity, but I tried to believe in paganism for a while and did a lot of things like that because, that seemed more logical and more realistic. But, in the end, I just kind of decided, well, I live in this society, so I'm going to try to be a good Christian. So I became an Orthodox Christian. Anybody familiar with that? Yeah, okay. So I guess I'm a sucker for ritual. I guess I just love the ritual thing and everything else. And I kept believing in that. I went on to that for quite a while, but more and more doubts started to creep in. I couldn't make it a lot of times because I started working on Saturday nights and, working real late. And eventually what happened was my wife is from Peru, okay? And in Peru in 2007 they had a big earthquake. And about 500 people died of that earthquake. And the most people that died in one place was in Ica, Peru, where the church collapsed on them while they were in a worship service. And I just said, that's it. I'm not making any more excuses. That's it. I'm done. And so ever since then, I've been pretty committed to secularism and the various aspects of being a secular person. Trying to follow logic and everything else. But if you go down to Peru to this day, even the people whose relatives were affected, and you talk to them about it, their belief is stronger than ever. And I sit there going, why? Why? So that's kind of why I came here to talk about today, because, if you ask, they ask you to talk about what you learned in life a little bit, and this is what I've kind of come up with. The first thing I came up with is that, Christianity has a belief that God is three people in one. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But anyway, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And, man was supposedly made in God's image, or vice versa, it depends on what you believe. But I've kind of come to the conclusion, classically we always believe that man is three parts in one, mind, body, and spirit. And really, if you take the superstitious part out, if you want to take the superstitious part out, you end up with man is three parts: mind, body, and emotions. And all those three parts have to be nurtured and fed and given support systems. And we all have these emotional truths. And, if you have these emotional truths, you listen to the modern world, and these emotional truths are fed to you, they're fed back to you, and you believe them and everything else. So I ask myself, why do people sometimes keep believing, even though there's a lot of emotional, there's a lot of factual reasons, not to. And I believe it's because religion itself is an emotional truth. It's a truth that resonates within you, that you have a support system that's built up and everything else, so we believe that. And it's very hard to get anybody to fall away from that unless some overwhelming evidence comes to the fore, or you just reach a theological conclusion. And the more you challenge it, the more fiercely you believe. So, what I'm up here to talk about today, secularism, atheism, whatever you want to call it, tends to look down on people's emotional truths. At least I do. I look in there and I think about logic and everything else, and what's the logical reason for believing and all that, and there didn't seem to be any, but it's there. But and I've met people that don't believe that believe in secularism and atheism for equally emotional reasons. They just don't like the baggage that comes with religion. So they think those people are just following that for a reason. It's a crutch or whatever. And that in itself is an emotional truth. That in itself resonates with people in a certain degree. But I've never been that way because, I got to tell you, I love the people I went to church with. I loved them. I loved the ritual and everything else. I thought it was really appealing to me in a lot of ways. And it just resonated with me at the time, but it doesn't resonate with me anymore. And I feel that this is a real strong part of this. We are emotional beings, outside of being physical and mental beings as well. So we follow this as well, and we all have emotional truths. It's a real ritual inside of us. It's a real ritual that follows us, and we have to follow them. And just one real quick example of an emotional truth that I'm sure most of us have, and would be like all men are created equal. Now, manifestly, that's not true, because for one thing, where's the women? Okay, where are the women in that? But another thing, people are born, some people are smart, some people are not so smart, some people are tall, some people are short. And even if you look at the legal system where that's supposed to be what that's about, all men are created equal, I can go down and I can pay a lawyer a couple $100 to get out of a speeding ticket. Okay? Other people can pay vast sums of money to get out of legal penalties and everything else. And the fact of the matter is that if you're not a person that can afford to pay that, you're going to jail, or you're getting your license docked a couple of points, or you're going to suffer for higher insurance rates or whatever, all because you couldn't afford to take care of that. So where's the equality in that? And I look at that and I say, nah, it's just not the truth that all men are created equal. And even if we believe that all people are created equal, if you've got money, or you're attractive, or whatever, you can get out of a lot of things. So it's an emotional truth that we all carry, and we can either use those emotional truths for good or bad. Like all people are created equal. You can use it for good if you want to, because you can say, okay, all people are created equal, so I'm going to strive to ensure that all people are created equal. I'm going to work to ensure that everyone is treated equally. Or you can just believe the emotional truth, and you can accept the fact that certain people living in one zip code will die 10 years younger than people living in another zip code. All because of money. All because of getting proper nutrition and able to get proper food or whatever, and proper medical care. So you can either accept the emotional truth as is, or you can work to make it the truth. And that's why I believe it's real important that we as secularists, and I'm having a hard time pronouncing that word, but secularists, come up with a kind of an atheology that addresses emotional truths within ourselves and creates emotional truths that are based on fact. Now we can answer important questions like how many atheists does it take to dance on the head of a pin, or how many atheists can, but the fact of the matter is we need to concentrate on the truth. We need to determine reality is, existence is, and most importantly, I am and we are, and find emotional truths within those that resonate and are factually true as well.